Hey, what's up good people, my name is Sean and in today's video I'm going to be doing a quick update for my True Draco build that I use for the NR Festival. As many people know, True Draco is one of my favourite decks, and so it is the deck I most primarily played, and there was a lot of changes that I made of playing through the event that I did to the build that I uploaded yesterday. But feel free to go and check that one out still. Is where I go into a lot of detail about how the card works and how the event works. But let's go over to the PlayStation 5 screen. Before I even go into detail, I just want to say I've really enjoyed the NR Rarity Festival. It has been so much fun to play this one. I like the XE Festival where it was very much defined by only a few decks, where there were like Zodiac was really popular, Numeron was really annoying to deal with, I think Sharks was also popular, there was Burn, obviously Self-Burn was very controversial, and they've definitely tried to avoid people being able to do Self-Burn now in this format. But this one has been so much more fun because people could just play the fucking game. This is what Yu-Gi-Oh! Is supposed to be. When you get past all the gacha and you get past all the grind of having to collect cards, and you just say, hey, I want to go build that deck. I just gotta go build it because the cost of NR cards are really cheap. The game is so much fun. It's so much better. I've played so many decks over the last couple of days. I actually don't really want to copy over it, but I've played your Senjus, which didn't really work out too well. I built Monarchs, True Draco, Gadget. There are other decks that people have been playing, such as Megalith has been really popular. I've seen Blue Eyes, I've seen Paleozoics. There's so many different decks and there's so many different strategies, and it's because people could just go out and play. So I've really enjoyed this event. As mentioned, I mostly use True Draco as my favourite deck of all time, and I'm glad it wasn't so nerfed that we couldn't play it. And there was a couple of things which I updated for my primary build, so this is going to be a short video. This is just going to be me talking about my experience with it and some of the changes between this build and the last one. So it hasn't dramatically changed. We're still playing 8 Dracos, we're still playing 3 Majesty Maiden, 3 Ignis Heat, and 3 Dryad Third. Not 3, sorry, 2 of them. Really great. Dryad Third has been fun to play with. I never really play this card normally because you don't want to play a lot of monsters in True Draco normally, because you're playing that card of Demise, Into the Void, Pot of Duality. You're playing cards which you want to set a lot of back row mostly. But because we don't have those cards, it's definitely a different way to play. And Dryad Third is very reliable. The protection effect that he has to protect your monsters from being targeted or being destroyed by card effects has been very meta-defining in my opinion. I think the biggest challenges that I've had to get over when playing this festival are cards with protection effects like that. Magic Spectres are another example of that, where Magic Spectres, did I delete my Magic Spectre deck? I hope not. Magic Spectres are cards that cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects, and therefore they're immune to things like Torrential Tribute. Well, Dryad Third does that for your Draco cards as well. It's been very helpful. Also, with 2800 being his booty, it's been just a great wall, and because you're summoning monsters in defense position using things like True King's Return or even his own effect, it's very good. And what's great about his tribute summoned effect is that this works any way that he leaves the field. So I had someone use Compulsory Evacuation Device on him, and so even though he went back to my hand, I still got a monster from my deck for free. So that was really fun. So he's been good. I won't be playing him in normal standard format, definitely not, but he was really reliable for this format. Now, one thing that I've seen a lot of people doing for True Draco is they've been playing some monsters outside the archetype, and I wanted to comment on those. So some people didn't really like the fact that I had Card D in my previous build. I still stand by it. I think Card D is a very flexible option, very easy and reliable to do, and it lets you draw 2 cards. I think it's really good. But a lot of people have been preferring to play things like this card here, Vision Hero Witch Raider. This card says to tribute summon this card, you can tribute traps you control as well as monsters. This is really good because this works just like a Draco card. It does take 2 trap cards in order to summon it instead of just monsters, but they don't need to be face up or anything like that, like an Egyptian god. You can just have them face down and then you can tribute them. And what's great about this card is when this card is normal summoned, you get to destroy all spell and trap cards your opponent controls. This doesn't really come up for me too much, as a lot of the better decks for this festival are relying on monster effects. so they don't often have a lot of spell trap cards to destroy, and if they do, they often are chainable with like Compulsory, Torrential Tribute, or Fiendish Chain, or Fog Blade. So they've not really been too, I don't think this card has been really that effective, but it does have 2700 attack, which is nice, so it's a cool option. I've seen everybody who's playing True Draco, and other decks as well, playing Odd Eyes Advanced Dragon, and I actually didn't know what this card was until this festival, which is another great thing about this festival. It says you can tribute summon this card by tributing one level 5 or higher monster. If this card is tributed, summoned, you can destroy one monster your opponent controls, and if you do, inflict damage equal to that monster's original attack. This is nice. It does a little bit of burn damage for you, and it gets rid of a card on the field. And it only takes one monster to do, which is really easy to do with True Dracos, as long as that monster is level 5 or higher. Especially if you bring back that monster with True King's Return, you could just summon with True King's Return, tribute it for Odd Eyes Advance, and there you go, you're ready. When this card destroys a monster by battle, you can special summon one level 5 or higher monster from your hand or graveyard in defense position. Ideally, you want to use Dryad third to bring that out, but yeah, he's okay. I don't think he's amazing. I don't think he's as good as a lot of people are making him out to be. I've used it quite a bit, but there are times when he's just not applicable because there are a lot of cards that cannot be targeted. For example, one of the biggest combos, or one of the biggest challenges for this meta has been getting past Draglubion. And Draglubion is 3k attack, 3k booty, but it cannot be targeted with card effects. So cards like this, which you really need for it, is really less effective against those situations. It's good against Megalith, where you can target, say, like a Phalig in order to get rid of that card, so that's okay. But still, if they have a Fool on the field, then they can quick effect, Ritual Summon, and get rid of it anyway, so you're missing your target. Frankly, to me, I don't really see the point of this card. I think any situation you could use this card, you could just use any other Monarch, and all the Monarchs that you could do can be played in the same situation. And I like that it destroys a monster on the field, but you could just do something like Zaborg and still get a similar effect off of it, or even like Mobius. And one card that I was trying out instead of Advance was Ryzen the Mega Monarch, which does still target, but when it is tribute summoned, you can target one card on the field and one card in the other player's graveyard, and return that card on the field to the top of the deck, and return that other target to the hand. This has been good. I would rather play normal Riser, but being able to spin a monster or a card on the field to the top of the deck has been really good. And it gets an extra spin if you tribute a win monster, and so you can use Majesty Maiden to tribute summon this card, and then you get 2 spins, and then you get 1 card recovered from your graveyard back to your hand, which is decent. It's actually really good, and it has a lot of synergy with the deck. Because it has a base of Mega Monarch, if you have a tribute summon monster on the field, you can just use that 1 card as it, but tributing 2 cards for this isn't too difficult either, where you have things like True King's Return to keep on putting monsters on the field, and other cards like Ansha Malphite, which can special summon an extra monster to the field. One of my favorite texts, there's been some other really good texts that I really liked for this format, and Swords of Concealing Light is one of them. There isn't many forms of mass removal. There's Torrential Tribute, there's Needle Sealing, and then there's Swords of Concealing Light, which basically is a mass removal card. It flips all of your opponent's monsters face down. It doesn't target them, it doesn't destroy them, and they cannot change the battle position of those monsters until the second standby phase, unless of course they destroy this card. Being that it is a continuous spell, you can use it in order to be as a resource for a tribute summon for a Draco monster, and so it has a lot of synergy with this deck, and it really helps this deck when it's going second and your opponent has something like Draglubion on the field, especially when you have like Draglubion or Heart Earth Dragon, who both have protection effects. We get Half Earth as well. Well, Draglubion looks just fine. By turning these cards face down, they don't have their protection effect anymore, so you can destroy them with card effects, or using things like True Draco's Return or Apocalypse's Graveyard effect. So that's really good. But having just 3 Swords of Concealing Light isn't always enough, and the biggest challenge for True Dracos are monsters that are bigger than themselves. And so I've been playing some card things. I've got someone calling this pretty jank, but Fairy Box has been amazing. Don't let her believe the lies. Fairy Box has been a lot of fun to play with, been very, very rewarding. And it turns any attacking monster's attack to 0 if you call the coin flip correctly. It's been really, really fun. But if you want something that's a bit more reliable, Mirror Wall works almost just as well, which halves the attack of all of your opponent's attacking monsters. Now, normally, the downside with Mirror Wall is that it only halves the attack when they attack you. So if they don't attack you multiple times, then it could keep on halving them. But it's good to use during the damage step where you just flip it over, use Mirror Wall. The downside with Mirror Wall, of course, is that it won't float, because are you going to really pay 2,000 life points to keep this up? Maybe, maybe not, but you don't have to, but you can. But it's a good option to have just to be able to reduce your opponent's monster's attack, especially for those big monsters, and for things like another card that's really been annoying to deal with is 7 Sins. So cards like this, which have protection from being destroyed by battle or card effect, this kind of just helps you be able to battle over it, so you can throw your monsters at it and in order to deal with it. However, big thing with Mirror Wall is it only halves while it's attacking, so it doesn't permanently half the attack, so it isn't perfect overall. And then there's Begone Knave. This was originally in my original video, but I still have it here. I think this has been really good. This has been like the torrential tribute for me, where if I have an open field or my opponent does damage, I can flip this up and get rid of a lot of cards. It works really, really good against Megaliths. It works really good against cards from the extra deck, mostly XZ monsters. Begone Knave has been really good. But the rest of it is pretty normal. So that is just an update on my True Draco build. I've loved this festival. I'm done with it now. I've got all the gems I wanted to. I'm not going to go for the legacy tickets, but for those who are still trying to grind it out, have fun with it, enjoy it. It's very, very unique, and I can't wait to see what we can do next. They obviously can't do this next, but I think the best thing about this festival is that the decks that have been available to us have been things that we could just go out and buy without any kind of consequence. So I would love to see more things like this in the future. I don't know what else they will do. Maybe they need to make the loner decks a bit better so people could just play those. But I think this has been pretty good. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video as always. I'll see you soon. Take care.